Okay, so this is FileMaker database, just running off of FileMaker Server 18. And over here we have my iPhone, which is just screen sharing to my desktop using a Reflector app. So what we're going to do, we're going to just try running one of the shortcuts and see how it goes. Basically, we'll just add an entry, add a new record to this database. Let's go for it. Hey Siri, do FileMaker thing.
Hello from FileMaker. The total number of records in the database is 8. The most recent entry is, hello there. Would you like to add a new entry? Text.
Yes.
Okay, I can do that. Please tell me what you would like to add. What text?
How are you today?
Okay, the new entry was created. Okay?
Okay, so that worked. You can see the record was added. Okay, so in that last segment, we saw a kind of live demo of using iOS 13's Shortcuts app to insert a record into this FileMaker database, which is hosted on Server 18. And the Shortcuts app is just using the Data API. There's nothing else involved. Simply a Shortcuts app and the database running on FileMaker Server. And what it did, it dictated what I spoke to Siri and put it as a new entry in here. And also the shortcut app gave us a rundown of total number of records and what the last entry was. So let's go and have a look in the Shortcuts app to see what it was actually doing. And what I've done, I've duplicated it here and changed some of the credentials and whatnot, just so it's good for public consumption. Okay, so what's it actually doing? First thing is just setting up the text of username and password to authenticate with the Data API, which is then being passed on and being encoded into base 64. The result of which is then being used in this URL get. So actually it's a post just to authenticate with the Data API. And we've got our headers there with our authorization using basic. And what I've found is it's a little bit buggy still, but if I go in here, just do something, then it appears. And I'm using the base 64 encoded the result that I got previously. And its request body is JSON and it's just empty, doesn't need anything else there. So that does our authentication. So we get our result of that and we get our token. And I'm putting the token into a variable called myToken. And then we're making the request directly to the database, and what it's actually doing is running a script called responder. So if I look at what this responder script does, all it's doing is, let's move the phone out of the way, it's just showing all records, going to the last one, and then exiting script with some text here, hello from FileMaker, total number of records, and whatever the last entry was in the last record. If it's empty, it just actually says empty. And that's all it's doing. So the script is just that. So what happens in the Shortcuts app, if we bring that back over, it's getting the result of that, which is the script result, and it's simply speaking it. So it gives us our total number of records, and then asks me, would I like to add a new entry? And then it's looking at the dictate text. And if the dictated text is yes, then it says, okay, it's going to go ahead and create a new record. So again, it asks for some dictated text, which it will then add as a new record using the Data API records endpoint. So it's just a post, and then using the bearer, using the token that we had from earlier. And again, we've got the JSON body, so our field data containing entry text, which is our field name, and then the dictated text. We can carry on through there. Again, we're looking for, where we jumped a bit there. Okay, so that's our record added. Record gets created. This is a bit more speaking. If it's a no, or basically just don't answer yes, then it just says nothing will be done now and it ends. And then right at the end, we're just having the delete log out of the session token. So that's really all it's doing there. That's doing everything needed in shortcuts to use Data API to add our record to our database. That's pretty cool.